Welcome to Real Talk with Real Estate Pros, where we bring you exclusive interviews with the real estate experts. We'll delve deep into their journey to success and learn how to go the extra mile to serve their clients' wants and needs. Let's dive in. Here's your host, John Money McKinley.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is John Money McKinley here with Real Talk with Real Estate Pros. And I've got our featured guest on today, Wale Lawal. And he's here to share with us a lot of great information on what's truly happening in this wonderful, crazy world of real estate. I'm bringing this show to you all to bring you experts that can explain to you the truth about what's really happening in the world of real estate in your backyard. I know a lot of us, we get our information from the television, and it's pretty much delivered by actors who have never spent a day working on or in real estate trying to tell us what's going on. But without any further ado, let me introduce Mr. Wale. How are you this afternoon, sir?
I am doing fantastic. Thank you for having me here, John.
I really appreciate you coming on, and I'm really excited that I was able to have you on today because I've been hearing a lot of great things about you around town about what you've been doing, and a lot of what you've been doing is in a very short period of time. If I understand correctly, you really just got started in real estate in 2020. Is that correct?
Yes, I started in real estate in 2020. I was in the corporate America for about 5 years. I got my chemical engineering degree from Prairie View A&M University. So I got my master's degree there, and I worked in the oil and gas for about 5 years. Then I started looking into real estate, and everything was pointing me to real estate because I was looking for passive income. I was looking for residual income or ways to kind of reduce the amount. I wanted to have the option to work if I want to work. And I want to have the option to not work if I don't want to work. Like when I say work, I mean actively working for the paycheck. I wanted to have that option. So real estate everything was just pointing me to real estate. So I got into real estate, I think in May 2020, and I've been here since.
Wow. So if I understand you correctly, not only are you a professional real estate agent / realtor, you are also a seasoned, experienced real estate investor. Is that correct?
Yes, I actually going back to my story, I wanted to invest in real estate. So I came in as a real estate investor, but as I was learning more about real estate investing, I wanted to be a savvy real estate investor, meaning that very good at what I'm doing as an investor, because I mean, we all have that fear. I don't want to lose money. So I don't want to lose money. So I know that one of the best way not to lose money is to know what exactly I'm doing and why I'm doing it. Every decision I'm making, I want it to be an informed decision based on what I know, based on what I've seen, right? Or based on what other people have done. So I'm like, okay, hey, why don't you get your real estate license? That's, one of the best way to learn more about real estate. And I took the tests. Everything was online. I think I got my license within 2 months because when I want to do something, I go all in. I gave it my 2 months while I'm working as a corporate engineer. I was working as a corporate engineer. Then I gave it all in for like 2 months, and I passed the exam and all those things. Actually, lucky for me, I passed the exam one time. I've heard a lot of story of people having to do it like 3 times, but one time I passed the exam. So as I passed my exam, the same month I closed on my first, rental property. So I was an investor first before a realtor. So, and after I, passed the exam, I bought my first rental property. I saw how it all went. I'm like, oh, this is good. I want to do more of this. And I started talking to people about what I'm doing. Then people start, asking me, hey, Wale, can you help me look at this number? And all those things. Before you know it, I represented my first client, which was out of state. I think it was based in California. Out of state, first closing, second closing. So while I'm juggling the corporate engineering job, right? So at the point where I was now making more money in my real estate side hustle, that started with a side hustle. So then I left the corporate. I took a bow, and I talked to my boss like, hey, sorry, my passion is no longer here. My passion is in real estate. I need to go and pursue my passion 100%. So I left in July 2021. That was when I left the corporate engineering job. And I think the first year I was able to triple my income I was making from my corporate job. And that was like, oh, okay, that's a validation that this is working. It makes sense, right? So also that was when the interest rate was really low. So I think this was like 2021/2022.
The good old days.
Yeah, so good old days. Yeah, where interest was like 2.5%. So yeah, that was when I left. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna do this all in. So I triple my income, and it makes sense. So I keep buying more real estate, and I keep helping more people to buy real estate. Majority of my clients are people that probably bought their first home. Now they want to have an investment property. So as the same thing that got me started. So I can always share my story, and we connect easily because I bought my first home. That's how I got started real estate. Like, oh, I need to buy more of this, right? That's it.
That's fascinating. That's great. So you actually will take your first-time home buyers or your home buyers, start talking with them about real estate, and if they express some interest, not only can you help them and show them the ropes of how to properly real estate invest, you have the experience because you do. Not only do you help them buy and sell real estate, you actually invest yourself. So you have the experience in that. And in this market we're in now, you know this, I know this because we're both in the same market. I'm on the lending side, you're on the real estate side. But this market, every time we wake up, it almost like they keep changing the rules on us.
Yep. Yep. Yeah.
I mean, that's just amazing that you went from working to get your license, still working in the corporate world, and then just as you're getting your license, you're already closing on your first investment property.
Correct.
Wow. How many properties do you own, if you don't mind sharing with us?
I think a little bit. I'll say I don't know if I can put a number out there, but I think it's about 26 doors right now. I have
Nice.
two small multi-family, and I think four single family homes. So yeah.
That's incredible. Oh, so you deal in both, is the commercial side, the
Yeah,
multifamily, as
yeah.
well as the single
My
family.
specialty is residential, which is either single family or multi-family. That is my focus because I own the same asset class, so it was very easy for me to show people how to do it, and how not to lose money, if they listen to me, of course. So
Exactly. And I mean, just so my listeners can know this and understand, Wale has actually been featured in Top Agent Magazine as well as Yahoo Finance as one of the most knowledgeable individuals in the Houston market on real estate. So in a very short period of time, you have really gotten a name out there for yourself by being able to not only drop your corporate job, get into the world of real estate, helping people buy and sell real estate, but also become an expert on the real estate investing side.
oh, thank you for that. Thank you.
And that's something that I kind of take a passion in on the real estate investing side, because I've been working with investors myself personally since the 90s. I actually went from construction, went to work for a well-known big-time real estate investor back in the mid-90s, and I didn't know anything.
Wow. Wow.
That is incredible. Well, let me ask you this. Speaking a little more on the real estate investing side, if
Mm-hmm.
you were talking to a person who's a little nervous and a little bit worried right now about all that we see going on with the market, what would you tell them? What advice would you give to them on looking into becoming a real estate investor in today's times?
If it's for real estate investors specifically, it's all about the numbers for investors, right? So interest rate is the culprit, right? Interest rate is the problem. Now, interest rates, we also understand that interest rates do fluctuate over time. They go up, they come down like that. What we saw in 2020, 2021, and some early parts of 2022, I can call it that they are not normal. It's abnormal. Interest rates is still historically are always above 10%. So what we have even seen today, like 8%, is still above. Is still sorry, is still below the historical average. So for a new real estate investor, I think they definitely need to know their why. Why do they want to invest in real estate? And that why, if the why is strong enough, like why do you want to become a real estate investor? If that is very strong enough, that can help them to overcome any challenge or any temporary roadblocks they are experiencing. That can always help them to go past that roadblocks. And this goes for a first time home buyer as well. If you've been renting for 10 years, now that interest rate is now at 7%, 8%, that shouldn't still stop you from buying your new home, because you've been renting for 10 years with 100% interest, right? Right. Now you want to be buying a house with, your own house, your own place where you can build wealth eventually for 7%. And you're still saying you're not going to buy the house. Are you going to continue to pay 100% to your landlord and you don't have anything to show for it? And people are paying credit card 29%. They're paying some other things like 10%. So why won't you buy a house for 8%, 7%? And house is even an essential need in our life. We all need a roof over our head. Either you are renting or you own, you need a roof over your head. So for a new investor, not to digress too much, they need to get educated and understand why do they want to invest in real estate. So interest rates will always go up and come down. If you buy right at the right price, at the right location, you will always win in real estate. That's all I can tell them.
Exactly. It's funny you say that you always win in real estate. That gentleman that I went to work for in the mid 90s, leaving construction, going straight into real estate, he told me he once bought a house one time, sight unseen, because that's the way a lot of seasoned real estate investors do. And he shows up to the house after he bought it, and the whole back of the house was missing.
Wow.
And I said, oh my gosh, his name is John, by the way, as well. I said, oh my gosh, what did you do? He went, that's going to be an issue I need to work on, adjust my numbers. But he was still able, because the money is made when you buy the house, not when you sell the house. He was still able to go in, get the home remodeled, taken care of, and do what he needed to do to where he still made money on the transaction.
Gotcha. Yeah, gotcha. Don't get me wrong. People still lose money in real estate. I've lost, good amount of money, and I've also made good amount of money. So people need to reduce their risk. I see a lot of new investors trying to go after all these complicated properties, like a fixer-upper property that has a roof issue, foundation issue, siding issue, maybe some termite damage, some fire damage property. This is too complex for a new investor. I always tell my clients, start from a very simple property. Make your first purchase as easy as possible, because when you're getting started, you don't know what you don't know. But after you close on your number one, number two, from your number three, you can start messing with some property that needs some work. But at the beginning, keep it no work. It doesn't need any work. It's 100% ready to go. Or maybe basic painting, and that's it. Nothing complex, because when you're trying to do something complex, that is when you're going to lose money. That is when a lot of uncertainties, unknown, external factors, you depending on the contractor, can come into that picture. And when you rely so much on the external factor, then you risk a lot of, you stand a chance to, get something wrong. And that thing you get wrong can cost you thousands of dollars. So people still lose money in real estate, and that's why getting education is very important. Also, of course, working with a rockstar investor agent is also very important because just like myself, because I'm doing the same thing, it's very easy to transfer my experience to help my clients, to help anybody that want to help themselves. It's very easy. It doesn't cost me anything extra. I already figure it out. Just transfer the knowledge to them and help them save money, while also avoiding those costly mistakes that I've seen a lot of people made, including myself, and shorten that learning curve of have to go and figure it out on their own. So people still lose money in real estate, but I would say that if you work with the right person, you can drastically reduce your chances of losing money.
Someone like an expert like yourself, you can show them how to navigate through the minefields. And yeah, I mean, there is the possibility, as with any investment, I hope all the listeners understand, as with any investment, there are risks. You can lose money. However, real estate, in my opinion, as well as Wale's opinion, is one of the best places to put your money into in the United States of America. You can go through a graph throughout history and you can see real estate. Yes, it goes up and yes, it goes down, but real estate has always had a steady uphill climb. The other thing too is, what Wale said earlier, was you got to live somewhere. People are always going to need a place to live. And I've myself personally worked with a lot of real estate investors, and they keep buying more and more real estate, even in these times where you turn on your television. Oh my God, the interest rates are high. The real estate's overpriced. The world's coming to an end. Everything's falling apart. And yeah, things have changed. Things are going different, but you have to understand, when hasn't things in this crazy place we call Earth been crazy, been upside down? I know a lot of us, at least in my age bracket, we like to talk about when we talk about the good old days, the good old 70s and 80s. But there was all kinds of craziness going back on then. People that are old enough to remember, you remember the 70s with the gas crisis, the interest rate crisis, and then when Reagan came into office with the extremely high interest rates in the 7s and 8s now. I tell people this is more around the normal time frame, because let's be honest, and I'll ask you this, Wale, do you feel the Federal Reserve and the federal government stretched us too long on these low interest rates and really spoiled a lot of homeowners with crazy low interest rates?
Wow, wow, wow. That's $1 million question. The simple answer is yes. I mean, me and you, we understand the industry very well. The economy was supposed to shut down. The world was shutting down. But being the, world largest economy, the Fed doesn't want, America to shut down. Then they keep giving us steroid. They keep, giving us steroid to keep us awake. We're supposed to go to sleep. The world has to sleep, like every machine, like every car. When you run them, there's a time you have to pack the machine and let it rest. We're supposed to go and reset. But the Fed, to the best of their not, for the best reason, for the reason best known to them, they decided to, like, what, we're not gonna let it go to sleep. Let's give you some steroid to keep you awake, some caffeine to keep you awake. And that was what happened. Even if that happened, I think we shouldn't have passed, maybe mid 2021 or ending of 2021. We should have start getting that thing back. But it was so low for a long time. People that are new to real estate, got spoiled with that 3% interest rates, and they see it as a new normal, even though it's not normal. Now it's really hard for people to, wrap their head around the fact that that 3% interest rates that they were seeing, 2 years ago is gone for life. So it's really nerve-wracking for people, which I understand. But again, if you're buying real estate for the long term, you understand that interest rates do fluctuate. If they fluctuate, refinance. If they never come back, then hold on to your property. You only lose money when you sell real estate in a time that you are not supposed to sell it. So I believe the Fed stretched that low interest rate for the long time. A lot of new people getting into real estate got really adapted to that low interest rate. It's like a baby that you're giving the milk, and you took away the milk from the baby. People are gonna react like, "Hey, why you do that?" The baby's gonna look at you like, "Why do you do that?" So that is what has happened. But I mean, every economy, every government, have to make decisions that is best for them. But I think it was overstretched.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with you on that. We stretched it too long, and unfortunately, as you described, we gave too much steroids, and then now we had to pull back, and it's causing a little bit of adversity. However, I go back to what I said in the beginning: with the right education, the right knowledge, and let's be honest, the right team in your corner, you can still get through all of this craziness. Because
100%.
at the end of the day, the government's going to do what they're going to do. The media is going to do what they're going to do. You really only have control of what's around you. And that's the beauty behind the real estate investing. Yeah, you have your 401ks, you have your stock market, you have all that other stuff. A lot of it's controlled by other people. Real estate, you really are able to go in and put your own hands physically on it and own something, and get with an expert like you, Wale, and see, hey, what do the numbers look like as you've got your money in your hands? Then you can decide, okay, I want to put my money on this investment. And I love what you said too about the new real estate investors. Yeah, we can do all this repair stuff, but if you're new in the real estate investing side of things, let's get you something easier. Keep it simple. Or I don't know if you've heard of the KISS principle. Have you heard of the KISS
Keep it
principle?
simple. Keep it simple, stupid, right?
Exactly. Yeah, you're in real estate. You know all about the KISS principle.
Yeah.
And that's such a great thing. I mean, I know you've worked with experienced investors. I've worked with experienced investors as well too. And we get into all kinds of complex things, but I can't tell you how many newer investors I get. They're talking all kinds of crazy things and corporations and LLCs. I'm like, take a breath, take a breath. You don't even own a house yet. Let's
Yep.
just calm down.
Wow, you're right.
Let's get you connected with the right person who can help you find that real property that's going to do what you want to accomplish. And I like what you said earlier when you said you got to know what your goal is. What are you trying to accomplish? Because if you don't know where you're trying to go, any road will get you there.
100%. 100%. And when you get there, you will not even know you've arrived because you never know what you're looking for in the first place. Right?
Exactly. You know, I used to say, if you want to go to Disney, if you're trying to get to Disneyland, well, you got to have a map to get there. I haven't figured out what to replace Disneyland with now, but
Mhm.
but if you're trying to, we'll call it Tartaria, if you're trying to get to someplace far away, you need to have a map, preferably a map that's going to take you there as straight as possible.
100%. 100%. And uh, like you said, I've spoken with a lot of real estate investors, a lot of experienced one, and good amount of new one as well. The experienced one regrets they always have is that, man, Wale, I wish I bought more real estate. I've been investing for 20 years. My biggest regret, because I always ask them this question, because I tend to be in a position to tap from all these investors' experience, you know, and use it to better myself and my client. So I tell them, hey, Jonathan, you've been investing for 20 years. What is your biggest regrets, as a real estate investor? Not buying enough real estate. Not buying enough real estate is always their answer because they've seen that, man, I bought that thing for $50,000 in 1982. Now that same $50,000 property is now $350,000. So let's say you have 10 of that. See what happened. That is where the real wealth are being built, not you trying to, spend, save, $50 because some people are very good with calculation. They have this complex Excel spreadsheet where they can compare if I'm renting, what I will pay versus if I'm owning. Oh, I'm going to be losing $200 if I'm owning a property, but if I'm renting, I'm saving $200. But you're not building any wealth. Your landlord will actually even increase the price on you every single year. The rents do go up. For my properties, I always increase the rent every single year because inflation, right? We know about inflation. Things are going up on me. So I can't keep the property for the long run if I'm not keeping up with inflation. I have to increase the rent. And also, for people that like to budget, right? You can't actually have a good budget if you're renting. Because if you think, oh, my rent is 1,800 every year, next year it can go to 2,100. So that's extra $300, every single month. That just increase your budget. I hope you're making more money on your job to cover for that difference. Because if you don't do that, now you might be underwater compared to you buying a property with a locked interest rate and a locked mortgage payment for 30 years. And you can even tell us now, people that want to pay even less, they can even do something like 40 years loan right now, right? You have that, right? 40 years.
We do not have the 40
Okay.
years yet. I know that they haven't really decided if they want to do that. We do have a lot of other creative things we can do. As a matter of fact, I've got something that's a very incredible program for investors to where the loan itself actually re-amortizes daily.
Wow.
And when I show investors that, their eyes get really big because they're like, wait a minute. So you're telling me that I'm literally building equity by money that I put into a checking account because it's paying down principal and re-amortizing daily, yet I can still go take that money out of the checking account with no problem.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Investors look at
Yeah,
that.
you are with CMG, right? They call it, is it all in one loan?
Yes.
All in
Yes.
one. I've heard about that before. Yeah, I've heard about it. I was
We
actually,
call it the home select. Ours is the home select.
yeah, all in one. They kind of like, it's more like your refinance, right? But you get some of your,
You can use it on purchases or refinances. I typically, with my investors I work with, especially in the times we're in now, because a lot of investors have a lot of property with equity in it. I'm like, okay, let's find your largest equity property. Let's find the one that's going to give you the money to pull out that you need and still keep your cash flow. Because I'm sure
correct,
you say the same thing to your clients.
correct.
If it doesn't cash flow, don't buy it. It's
That's it.
no point in buying it.
That's it. That's it. Now, and I believe we have a diverse listener, right? I know we
Yes.
spoke a lot about real estate investing. For the first time regular home buyer, or even a second time home buyer, if they are buying a new construction, these builders are giving a lot of money to incentivize them to buy. I've seen $40,000, $50,000 discounts on a property. They discount the property. They also help you discount your interest rate. The average interest rate for a regular Joe or regular Jane, right now is about maybe 7.5, right? They can
Correct.
help you, they can help you buy down the rate to maybe like 5.5, 5%. Instead of course, what they do is that they use money, right? They spend some money to buy down the rate. But you are now getting a house with, first of all, up to $50,000 discount. If the house is supposed to sell for $500,000, now you're buying it for $450,000. That's saving number one. Saving number two, you are now getting, instead of 7.5 interest rate, you are now getting 5.5 or 5% interest rate. That is a win all day long. And now the win number three is that if you keep the property and the interest rate now, let's say they drop, your property is going to worth more, because when interest rate drop, you know what's going to happen? Price will go up.
Yep.
Price will go up. That is the long-term vision people need to have, because if you continue to rent, you are not building any equity on that property because it's not yours, and you are not building any wealth. As a matter of fact, most of these new investors that come to me, if they don't own a house, I just tell them, hey, you know what? The strategy number one you should start with, go buy your house first. If you don't own a house, I always encourage them to buy their house first. So that way you actually own a house before you talk about real estate investing. Now, if they say, I don't want to still buy, or I want to really start with investing, then I tell them about the strategy we call house hacking. House hacking is where you can buy a duplex, you live in one side, let's say unit A, unit B, right? You live in unit A, You and your family, let's say you are married with one child, live there on your own. You have 100% of that unit to yourself. Of course, most of the time you share the wall, between unit A and unit B. That's the only inconvenience. Now, unit B, you rent it to a tenant. So unit B is paying part of your mortgage for you. If it's in a very cheap area, I've seen where the tenant in unit B rent is covering almost 80 to 90% of your mortgage. That's a win all day long. So you are using one stone to kill two birds. Now you are an investor that you want to be. When you reach out to me, you're an investor, right? You already become a landlord, and you are no longer renting. Now you own that house, right? And after 1 year, you can actually move out and go do it with a triplex, which is 3 units. And you can go do it with a fourplex, which is 4 units. And that's how people build wealth. But I always tell them, if you don't own a house, please buy your first house first. If you don't want to navigate the duplex thing, you want 100% of your privacy, then go buy a single family home. That is the best place to start, because at the end of the day, either you are buying to live in there or to rent it out. Real estate is an investment. That's how I see it.
Exactly. Well, I'm getting the notice from my producer. Our 30 minutes is coming to an end. I really want to thank you for coming on the show today and being able to spend some time with me. I really enjoyed our chat, and I'm hoping we can do this again soon. And I'm hoping my listeners have really enjoyed your insight as well on this. If you'd like, here at the last minute, Wale, please give us the best way to reach out to you if my listeners have any questions for you.
The best way to reach out to me, it's my phone number. I'm very social, so they can directly call me. The number is on my screen. I think it's 832-776-9582. They can also follow my YouTube channel. I have a YouTube channel. I call it Wale Lawal Houston Real Estate. They can definitely follow me on that. Or if they are very social as well, they can follow me on Instagram at Wale_Lawal. My first name _Lawal. So those are where they can reach out to me, or they can actually visit my website, which is networthbuilders.com. networthbuilders.com. And I'm sure you're going to link all that in the show notes. Yes. For them to connect with me, I want to chat with them. I want to help as many people as I can. Of course, I'm very blunt. I will keep it real with you. If you're reaching out to me, I will tell you what is going to help you, not what you want to hear. Because at the end of the day, what you want to hear may not be what is going to help you. But you're going to hear the professional advice, and you're going to hear my professional opinion about, if you should buy a house right now or you should wait. Some people, they don't have to buy right now. Maybe they are not even making, enough money from their job. They should go and focus on making more money first, right? But if you're in a position to buy, we're going to help you strategize on how to buy. If it's a credit issue, we have a credit, repair expert that will help you repair your credit. So, I can go on and on, but thank you for having me.
Thank you very much, Wale. I really appreciate it. And once again, everyone, this is John Money McKinley with Real Talk with Real Estate Pros. And if you need to reach me directly, please feel free. You can give me a call, 281-851-4963. Had a great time talking with you, Wale. Everyone, have a great day.
Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Take care. Bye.